Hey guys, welcome back to another
Battle started.
video. So, what do we have here? Now this, I really like this map, although I don't get an opportunity to usually play it in games, right? But here we have myself going in as the Armada commander as usual, doing my 2 mexes into my 3 wins, cap off the 3rd mex, nice starting position, and then I'll go in this time to vehicles, right? Because this map, the ground is pretty good. It's not, crazy and ridiculous where you have to just go into bots. And from my sort of very early plays, right, I found that vehicles are very, very, very good here. What's this? Kill them all YOLO. Who on earth is this? Well, this is, ladies and gentlemen, this is a very, very, very kind sir. So Yolo is one of the guys that subbed to my channel, right? And he reached out to me and said, "Hey, look, can we play some games of bar together?" And I was like, "What? Games of bar? You, me, having jokes? Yeah, of course I'm down for that." Hey, look at this shot, actually, it's really nice with the trees and whatnot. Looks very peaceful and serene. So yeah, absolutely, why not? So here we have Mr. Yolo. He is going in as Legion. So this is going to be quite nice. So I set this lobby up, right? And I'm quite bad at setting up lobbies. Normally when myself and Dr. Uranu are playing, he does all the rules and whatnot. So what I've done on this one, I think I put on evolving commanders, right? And yeah, and I don't think that's yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Put on evolving commanders and enabled Legion, right? And I have put on a few barbarian squad mates. So we are fighting barbarians on this, right? So we've got, I think it's a 5v5 if I'm not mistaken, or perhaps it was a 4v4. Yeah, 4v4, right? So this is gonna be us, man and machine, working together, joining forces like John Connor and Arnold Schwarzenegger, right, to defeat various iterations of Skynet. Look at this, we've got a tick coming in. We've got a tick coming in, bouncing around up in here, hitting my mexes. This is quite bad, but you know what? If I lose that mex, it's not the end of the world. I've got quite a lot, and these are 2.0s, right? All of them, if I'm not mistaken. I'm going to straight up reclaim this. I did have some rovers go out to scout, right? But I brought 2 back just so I can chase this guy down. Hunt him for what it's worth. Great success. But what it has meant is that, my construction vehicle went out trying to reclaim the guy. So he's kind of abandoned his post a little bit there. No problem. I'm just going to build that out. Get at least 1 LLT up in here, so that should stop any of those cutesy type of plays, right? So this is what we're up to. So I'm gonna pretty much take on the central position, right, and look to spearhead the attack. Yolo is gonna take care of the southern section alongside the lilac com. And this northern section, with a little bit of my help, Mr. Highlighter Blue should be okay over there. Now, if we look at the enemy, I mean, barbarians are notorious, right, for just spreading out, a bit like the rage virus. Yeah, they just spread out. One drop of a constructor here, there can amount to mass rage attacks, right? So you've got, yep, pretty much the same setup. To be completely honest with you, 2 players are up on one particular section. I mean, they're kind of somewhat, well, not exactly mirrored us, but opposites, if that makes sense, right? So where they've got 2 players in this section, there's only really 1 for us, and where we've got 2 players in this section, there's one for them, right? And 1 particular player right at the top. Got a little bit of skirmish. Some units went in there, nothing really to be worried about. Looking at Yolo's base, Okay, this is nice. He's just getting his eco up a little bit, putting in a bit of defense, which is good. Now, where is his commander? His commander's there, enjoying the scenery, relaxing, kicking it back, looking at Mr. Lilac, wondering what he's doing. I do like seeing a raider up in here. That's going to give us some nice early warning, particularly if quick moving units get past. Right now, I'm not wasting any particular time over here, right? These mexes are fantastic. You know what that means is, as long as I can build up a half decent energy economy, yeah, get some of my my converters up and running, functioning well, I should be able to get into this tier 2 lab fairly easily. It shouldn't take too much at all, right? I've got a radar up here. I just enable this again. You know, for those of you who are new to BAR, you want to get your radar in as much of an elevated position as possible, just so nothing can block it, because you know, verticality does matter in BAR, right? And even then, I mean, if you look at it, if we go back to this and observe, it's not perfect. Like I've got some, you know, blind spots here where the cliff dips down, right? So it encourages you to not just you know, build one radar and feel like you've conquered the world. You're gonna have to be a little bit more strategic with it, which is quite nice. You can see from here the inner workings of my paranoia lined up, ready to go. These are tier 1 anti-air towers, right? One of the things I don't want to do, I'm investing quite heavily into these very, you know, volatile poppy bits and pieces, like these energy converters and these windmills. One of the things I don't want is for the enemy team, one of them, to get hyper aggressive, right, and just throw in a bunch of you know, tier 1 bombers, and I'm done for, and I'm out. So good thing is, because the you know, commander's got 300 build power, I should get these energy converters up nice and quick, right, super quick, and then he can get into making my light anti-air. So I am happy with that. Now we've got our robot fighting their robots. We can see they've gone into, well, at least some of them have gone into vehicles, which is nice. That should mean there's going to be a bit of a challenge, right? Should be a nice fist fight in the trenches there, right? Okay. Or rover. That might be mine. Another little skirmish. This is gonna be if these grunts can see it, they'll take it out. But this ain't gonna achieve anything. It's gonna die very quickly. Very quickly. What's man like Yolo? What's he doing? You only live once, gone. You only live once. This, I believe, is the drone carrier, right? Once he's gonna start building some of these, and then the drone carrier. I do like this. This is something that I enjoy doing in my plays, and I encourage others to do the same, especially if you're not playing, like, you know, hyper aggressive player versus player games. You know, build a construction tower somewhere nice where you know you're gonna be, you know, building very vast amounts of units or buildings, like defenses and things like that, because this thing is gonna be fantastic. You know, naturally it's gonna help you build, but it's always gonna be there to repair your stuff, right? And if there's any, like, you know, wreckages in and around its radius, it's just gonna automatically suck those things up. So it's really good, right? For those of you who watch my my sort of long play videos, the ones without any commentary, you know, you see that this is something that I do quite often, or at least try to implement quite often. Oh, this is interesting. What we got here? So Yolo is going in to the advanced bot lab. Nice. One of the things I wanted to do is help Yolo out with getting into tier 2 super quick, if possible, right? So I managed to build out a tier 2 vehicle, and yeah, I've just sent it over to him, given it to him, and lined up the tier 2 mexes to get him on his feet. Now, as you can see, unlike player versus player games, right, where the commanders, like everybody pretty much, especially those on the front lines, just throw the commanders up there, and you know the middle of the map just becomes a bit of a heavyweight, you know, slugfest, right? With playing with the barbarians and against barbarians, very different. It's more about, you know, they like to throw the units out there, and the battle lines aren't necessarily as clear. They're a little bit more blurred. So here, I mean, if you look at the red team, yeah, all of Skynet's forces, they look like they're controlling all of the map, but it's not as bad as it may seem. It's certainly nowhere near as bad as it may seem. Now you're gonna see a lot of these types of tier 1 skirmishes, yeah, and it's gonna be a bunch of grunts and pawns just going around lasering each other in their head. Yolo's moving up. Yolo's moving up, which is very common. Like, you know, if in my older play, especially if I'm not playing in the central position, I'd look to do the same, because you want to get these mexes, right? You want to get these mexes and establish a little bit more of an aggressive presence on the map as much as possible. A bit like what you saw here. I mean, you know, I think, you know, going further on, he might put some LLTs and things like that to kind of to defend some of these mexes as well, because you're gonna have like things like this, right? So they're gonna come in 1 or 2 LLTs. I mean, with this many grants, they probably wouldn't have survived, but they would get the hurt on. They'd get the hurt on these units whilst backup arrives. So something to consider. Now, as for me, I've been trying to get big, so I've you know, I'm expanding northwards as well, because I want to get these mexes, right? A little bit of a greedy play, but why not? Because I'm expecting Mr. Highlighter Blue to move forward and get the mexes that are gonna become available to it. I may refer to him as him, or refer to it as him. Right. What am I doing here? Why on earth am I putting construction towers up here? Well, you know, land is going to become a bit of a premium over here, and in this section, this is where I really want to establish my labs. Yeah, so I felt as though I'm not going to have crazy amounts of space to do mad ecoing. I might, but I may not, right? You know, this is going to be really my tier 1 ecoing, and what I was hoping to do is up here, this is where I'll put my regular fusion reactors, and maybe, you know, start putting some AFESs when I get to that stage, right? And the tier 2 energy converters. This was going to be it, because I feel as though it's going to be much easier to defend as well, right? Because the pathway to get in here is quite narrow. Plus, I've got this barbarian, you know, here as well. As I say this, it looks like there's a bit of a raid happening. So these guys are coming in. They're looking to butcher. Okay, so he did have at least 1 LLT. That would have done a little bit of good work, but the forces are just too much. Interesting, they're not moving straight ahead. They're kind of going back and forth. It is interesting how the oh, what's going on here? How the barbarian thinks, right? How he comes to its decision making. This is tough. Yolo's kind of out here alone, and he's oof. I mean, he's taking a bit of a beating, right? Below 20%. He's got to really be careful in this play. Yeah, get the reclaiming. This tower there, that unit there would have been a fair amount of metal. I would like to see some units from his lab getting produced and thrown out there, even if they're just tier 1 units, right? Just so the commander has at least some backup, and the reliance wouldn't necessarily be on our robotic allies to come in to help. Wow, this is super good. This is super good. I don't think I really noticed it in the game, right? But the energy The energy from Yolo. This is nice. Shout out to Yolo for helping me in my energy crisis. Bit like where Europe is at the moment. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Yolo, dude, I think you're from Croatia, right? That's a Croatian flag. Yeah, so we will definitely know about the energy crisis up in here. Okay, so I'm looking to get big. Eventually, I'll eat up these solar collectors because they're taking up room, and I won't necessarily need them. I'm trying to put some defenses here because I saw, you know, the red team getting a little bit brave every now and again, like how they're doing now. You know, these two are no worry, but it's gonna be just a matter of time before some tier 2 type units start coming out there. So I wanna get the jump start on that. And the thing is, you know, they're abusing the highlighter blue commander here because they're just going in there, mashing up his mexes. Sorry about that, mashing up his mexes, and nothing can really happen here. Now the thing is, looking at my energy, right? Yeah, I ain't great. That looked like a heart attack waiting, you know. Look at that. The moment I get a little bit of juice, and boom, it's gone again. But my friends, this is coming up, and it's almost there. It's almost there. My paranoia got the better of me because I was like, look, this is going to be my eco center. Yeah, I need to make sure that if the enemy starts sending in like 200 thugs, yeah, with a backing guard of grunt, I need to be able to kill those things super quick, and nothing's gonna do that better than a bunch of beamers. Yeah, pop-up turrets and things like that are fantastic, but my god, these beamers, super tier, no doubt. Right, that's my energy crisis averted. Now I have sent some Jags to Yolo because I am not comfortable with the homie being here completely naked like that, right? I want to make sure he's got some defenders. And the thing about Jaguars, right? Chain lightning going to be super good against these tier 1s. And also, because of the anti-air, they will protect him from like any gunships, especially tier 1 gunships that come in. Yeah, bad guys have got into air as well. Thankfully, Yolo's got some good anti-air on the southern section, right? So that's going to keep his base nice and safe. These units are a problem. The mammoth. I mean, we do have a couple of bulls here, so oh, sorry about that. If we can get these guys, yep, it should happen. Mammoths are killers, honestly. I mean, they can 1v1 pretty much most tier 2 units, maybe every tier 2 unit. I don't know. Because even like with Starlights, right? I mean, Starlight's got the range, right? But if this thing can get up close and personal, it shoots so fast, and Starlights aren't the they don't have the strongest armor in the world. This bomber's getting pretty far, isn't he? Okay, nice flak. This bomber's not going to achieve nothing. It's going for the same path as the other one. Right. Now this is what I mean. The only thing is, I think it'd be nice if we could get like a radar or something up here, because then, oh, actually, we must have some radar coverage already. Yeah, probably through that. That's helping us, which is nice. But as you can see, like even with the Jags, right? They've been like severely wounded, like the Jags that are remaining. But more so is the fact that, you know, most of them have died now, right? So that's kind of scary. So something that I need to be, oh, you can see the mouse already, right? Something I need to be aware of is knowing whether or not what I've sent over is adequate, right? And can he make do with what's there? Now what I'm doing is, if we look at the map, I'm going into some stronger units, right? And as long as these Starlights are nicely covered away from, you know, protected from spam, really, that's what I should say. they're gonna have superb value here. No one's gonna really be able to push through until the red team get into, well, unless it's a bunch of mammoths. Let's be honest, right? Or a bunch of planes. This is nice. What's this unit? Arquebus. Like a railgun, right? Yeah, all-terrain heavy railgun. Really, really good. Really good. Now this is what I like. You know, with Bar, you know, unit production is very, very important. Very important. I mean, it might sound like, oh well, duh, goes without saying, but it's one of those things because like you can get a little bit carried away sometimes with trying to defend a position, and sometimes the best defense is attack, right? And you can only truly attack with units, right, rather than static buildings. So this is good. Sad to see the Jags die, but I think they served their purpose for the time that they were here. Ooh, bad positioning by me. Look how ugly these two are facing, right? The thing with Armada technology, they had not figured out how to put a spindle on the on some of their vehicles, so their heads are like giraffes, isn't it? I mean, they can only look 180. Ooh, my man escaped through the skin of his teeth. Skin of his teeth. Now, I think where I messed up here, I mean, I'm even sending some missile. Oh yeah, because I thought of the airplanes, the planes. I wanted at least something that could give some level of anti-air coverage, and I thought, yeah, if I spam missile trucks, that should be okay. And if they die, they die, right? Then I'm not gonna feel too bad about it. I think where I messed up here is, even though I made these starlights, I should have handed them over straight away to Yolo. And I hadn't. I neglected that, knowing that we could get into a situation where, you know, the so the bad stuff can hit the fan. I'm making a bit of tower defense myself. I'm going into 2 annihilated pulsars. There, 2 here as well. That should provide nice coverage for anything that tries to, any heavy unit, especially mammoths at this stage, that want to try and get close, or even, as you can see here, starlights of their own, right? Don't want to be caught lacking. Now I'm making some tier 2 energy converters, and as you can see, right, you know, I'm at a point where my energy isn't crazy because I'm not dipping below what I'm converting, but it's not necessarily safe neither. But now it's getting a little bit better. My metal is insane. Like I'm not you know, 171 is really, really good. I'm not spending any of it as well as I could. But I've got AFSs lined up. But I don't feel bad because it means that look, at least Yolo, right? He's gonna be getting some of this metal, right? He's gonna be getting some of this nice metal, and yeah, and it means he's gonna be able to produce more of these units. Incinerator, that's the bad boy. That's the one. I really like this unit. I really like this unit. Oh, sorry about that. I am messing up with my mouse controls severely today. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is also one of the more sort of heavily armored units as well. I mean, you could typically tell because you know, they move a lot slower than other units. This is a really nice shot. Look at this. Yeah, that's quite cool. Beyond All Reason really is a pretty game, you know. Once the killing and all that good stuff is contained, you know, you get to really enjoy these maps. And that, you know what? Shout out to the map makers of Bar, because for those of you who may not know, right, Beyond All Reason, it's not made by you know, a bunch of developers who are getting paid and, you know, have 6-figure salaries or anything. No, this is all done by people's free time, yeah, and their passion for not only video games but this RTS game, like basically the Total Annihilation style RTS games, right? They give up their free time to make things like this, like the maps, the units, the balancing, the updates. All of this stuff is people giving up their time to do. Yeah, and guess what? They don't even charge you a penny for it. Yeah, this game is free to download and play. Insane. Absolutely insane. And from what I understand, they're preparing certain new things. I believe they're trying to prepare a new lobby as well. So it's geared up for a Steam release, right? So yeah, that's gonna be excellent. That's gonna be excellent. You know, and for those of you who can, you know, please do support the team that make the game, right? You know, with anything, anyway, it doesn't always have to be money, right? You can raise awareness. If you're also a YouTuber who loves video games, you know, maybe make a game or two. I mean, a game or two. Make a video or two about Beyond All Reason and you know how it started and what developers are doing with it and tell the story, right? Get the word out there. Right? So one of the things that I would love to see is more and more players coming into this game, right? Fresh faces, some new tactics as well being thrown in. It all helps and it's all good, right? Okay, some of these big boys, they're now gonna hold this Death Canyon up here. Yeah, I believe now I did actually give the Starlights and a bunch of the missile trucks to Yolo, so that's gonna be, he's gonna be able to control those and now get a lot more value out of defending this section. Bastions are really good, solid defense with those. Right, my pulsars are now up. I feel comfortable that nothing except a jug or a behemoth is going to get through that. I don't know if it's still the case, but I remember, look, you know, when I used to watch a lot of bar videos, I still do actually. But when I was watching a lot of them, they used to say that it takes 6 pulsars to shoot a volley of 6 pulsar shots to take down a juggernaut in one volley, basically. Right, so that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so even though I said I was gonna make like E-converters around this section here, plans change, right? I said I was gonna eat up these solars. Looks like I didn't. So, you know, but look, I'm happy with this. I'm happy with this. I've got a bit of anti-air here. It's still tier 1, but I feel alright. I put an anti-nuke here because that's taking care of mine and Yolo's base nicely. Well, almost all of it, right? Yo, shout out to Yolo. My man's giving me 2 advanced fusions. Damn, that's super kind. I mean, for anyone that plays the game knows that the Aphis is like the is one of the most like labor intensive or resource intensive things to build. Like even yeah, labor intensive. I'm gonna say that as well because the build power needed to get these things up and running, yeah, you know, it's a lot. It takes a lot of effort, yeah, and to even get to the stage to build an Aphis takes effort. Right? So for someone to give up not only 1 but 2, especially when they're not like swimming in 20-30 Aphises themselves, that's a big thing. That's a big thing. So shout out to Yolo, man. That is super team play. Looks like our comrade in arms is also going into tier 3 with a Cortex experimental gantry as well, which is really nice. Yolo's getting some more variety of units. Oh, what's this? This Eviscerator. Pop-up cluster plasma artillery. Okay, so this must be like the equivalent of a you know, like a Scorpion and things like that, right? Okay, cool, nice. So it looks like he's on a on an area attack command, which is nice. So this is gonna be area denial. This is one of the cool things about the barbarians, though, right? They love to flood radars and jammers together at the same time, and they even do weird things like putting 2 jammers together, which is kind of odd. Right, I've not just been ecoing, I'm looking to do a little bit of cooking myself. Yeah, just a little bit. Just a little bit. So I want to make a ball of tier 2s. These Sheldons, man. The balls should annihilate these Sheldon balls nicely. Balls can get really, really close, and their plasma rounds are super strong. Good. Yeah, I wanna get a whole bunch of these tier 2s, and one of the things I'm trying to incorporate more is put some anti-air units with my army as well. Yeah, so many times you can have a fantastic composition, and you forget the anti-air. Next thing you know, your enemies, they just throw in a whole bunch of bombers and gunships, and you're kind of cooked. Mixed in with some ground units as well is hard. Where are these bad boys going? I want to get a bit of visibility, not just for myself, but also to the whole reason I'm going down south is to give Yolo an opportunity for his unit to get visibility of what's up front. Yeah. So if we look at a player view, look straight away the tick is showing him, we're gonna get icons on the map now. Okay, they must have been on a on an attack command where they're just firing away, because the tick's giving them vision, so that they should know that there's nothing there, there's just a corpse, wreckage, bodies. Yeah, but eventually when he starts moving some units forward with the help of the tick and their vision that they're giving, he's gonna rip up this LLT nice and easily. These jammers, they now mean nothing because you got vision on the enemy, right? In fact, these grunts might even do it. They lost the ticks. There must have been a little bit of a delay in my production. Yeah, quite clearly. Okay. So I'm in a situation where, interesting. So even like with, there's not like super amounts of build power here, right? So that would explain why my metal isn't being spent as much as it could. But it shows that you don't actually need a mad amount of build power to get an Aphis up and running, so as long as you have the resources to do it. Okay, so something to keep in mind. Look, I've got some my frontline Jags. Again, I've got some pulsars here, a few of the pit bulls, the Armada pop-up turret, some again tier 1, so it's not super great, but it should be enough. And I've also got an anti-nuke here as well, because I don't want to lose my eco. Oof, now we're talking. So how's this gonna start looking? So what I've done, I tried to get them in a formation. Now with BAR, you don't have to start like manually getting units into a formation. If you select like all the units that you want, if you hold down the Alt key on your keypad, right, and you hit the you hit the right click, it will automatically understand and put the units in formation of like, what's the artillery unit, what's the assault unit, what's this, what's that, range and up closeness and all that good stuff. It automatically does that for you. Yeah, something to keep in mind. So then as long as you move the units together, if you want, a bit like the old way the Romans used to do, right? If you hold on to control and then point where you want and then right click, it will move the units at the same pace as the slowest unit in the group, right? So you can remain, as King Leonidas said, one impenetrable unit. Okay, so I think those guys did well. Clearly I didn't wait for my tier 3. Perhaps I should have done, right? But I feel like, if you look at the map, they didn't do too bad. One of the things I do think I was missing, right, was to have a whole... Ooh, god damn it. Was to have a whole ball of res bots behind them, like reclaiming and repairing the guys. See, look, now they're gonna take these starlights and throw them back at my face. So if I had some res bots, at least I could have tried to eat them up as they died, as we went along, and as I killed the enemy as well. Right, Yolo's gonna have to deal with. Oof, when you see these many Zars coming in, right? That's a scary sound. I mean, look at the size of those plasma rounds. You know? Big. And I don't think these rail shots, as good as they are, like against Zars, there's not too many things that can really hurt a Zar properly. Holy moly, my man's got a he's got the experimental gantry right up in the front lines. Damn, son. But he has got good amount of build power. As long as you can spam out build power and you got resource, so you're able to actually spend, this ain't a bad idea. He can get his tier 3 units out there super quick. Super quick. And it looks like, yeah, he's got his Soul Invictus. Like he's not even bothering with javelins. Yeah, he's like, no, what do you mean javelins? Javelins? To do what exactly, huh? To pepper the enemy? No, I want to incinerate them. These gunships, they've been getting a lot of value, right? They've been, yeah, going in and out, causing havoc. What's going on here? Fiends! Shout out to the LLT. Nice, that was quite good. Mouse traps, right? You know what? Can we see this guy? Because the thing is, I did build like an anti-intrusion, did I? Or maybe not. No, I don't think I did. Let's take this off. Where did this thing end up getting? This goddamn gremlin. Because I was building up a bunch of roughnecks. Oof! Sweet! Shout out to this to this constructor that was just minding his business, trying to get to work. Yeah, trying to put in the clock in and clock out of his shift, and these pulsars just flipping him, you know, eviscerated that unit there. I'm trying to line up a bunch of gunships because when I am in a position where I'm gonna make a push, they're gonna become super good for us. Okay, my tick spam is now heading through the center. I feel like I've done what I can do for the southern section, and if you look at the mini-map, yeah, that southern section is looking healthy. It's been cleared out very good, very good. So Yolo can get reassurance that he's not really gonna get hurt and attacked so much over there. Now the middle, the trench itself, this is where the action now is going to be, right? It's picking up. It's picking up. Come on, 4. Get home and you're going to have a whole army behind you to take this bad boy down. Let's have a look at the enemy base. They're so like random, aren't they, with what they do? It's just I mean, their greatest gift or ability is the APM. They could just do a whole bunch of things at any one go. I mean, but they do crazy things like this. And a tier 3 lab in the middle of nowhere with just one constructor trying to make it. Oh, that's nice. That must be the catapult. Yep. Catapult is in. Vanguard is in. A walking LRPC, which is quite sick. 2 Soul Invictuses. The third one's clearly getting built out. I feel like this southern section, he may not have had the view per se. Okay, he knows he's got breathing room, which is nice. That southern section is going to be sweet to make a push in. What's my composition looking like for my gantry? Feel like I need more build power with it. That's definitely not enough. It looks a lot, and it is, but it's not enough, right? I want to try and get these units out super quick. I mean, it's taking me... it's not bad. It's not bad. 30 seconds? Kinda? Right, for a Razorback, it's not bad, but I feel like we could do... We could improve there. Right, we could do better in that area. But yeah, look, Razorbacks, I've got a few fours, so I do prefer making Titans above fours, definitely, because I feel like they're more versatile. And the thing I don't like, and I hope the developers can improve in this, right? So the 4 does actually have an EMP launcher, right? An EMP missile. But when when you're attacking with the 4, like, and a bunch of units, even though they're at fire at will, they don't always launch the EMP, and even when they do, they don't. It never feels like they launch it at useful targets, if you know what I mean. So I hope that the devs kind of look at that and say, yeah, you know what, we want to improve in that area as well. These Sheldons will get value to the point, like, until that catapult came and eviscerated them, because they have got range over the Kargan, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Wow, these bad boys are still alive. The remnants of the old days, right? Remnants of the old days. This is where my air lab is. If you're wondering where my gunships are coming from, I feel like this is a decent amount of build power. Okay, I actually did end up having to utilize the extra real estate to get more of these converters up, because my energy is super good, super good, and I gave back the 2 aphises that Yolo was kind enough to give me, because I got I got to a position where my energy economy was looking really good, and I was like, look, I don't want my man to lose his production, because he needs to be in a position where he can start pumping out units super quick. In fact, I wonder how long's my my Titan taking. A minute Titan? What do you reckon? I mean, I am at a point where I'm looking to build more build power, so sometimes the turrets, they're gonna stop helping to build a Titan and just build these. Yeah, a minute, 30 seconds, 30 seconds to a minute for a Titan. I think that's pretty good. That's almost spam territory, maybe, right? This, unless it gets nuked, I don't see many things taking this out. I mean, maybe a couple of juggernauts if they went up close and personal and self-destructed, but otherwise, yeah. Ooh, saying that, LRPCs, those will do the job. Yo, and this is how fantastic LRPCs are, right? Look at from that distance. What are they seeing? I mean, okay, they got dots, they got radar dots. Yeah, fair dues, fair dues. I mean, got a jammer or 2, just 1 actually, which isn't great. So I thought, you know what, yeah, I think the LRPC kind of triggered me a little bit, right? It triggered me to say, right, I need to go in and try and break that thing before it gets too much, too relaxed, too much headway. God damn, that's congested. That looks super bad. But if you want to block congestion, there's nothing quite like Razorbacks to get that type of a job done. Now this is gonna be a beef. But they've got crazy composition. I mean, these Cortex units that they have, right? They're so hard hitting, but this is where the airplane now comes in, right? This is why I wanted those gunships, because they're gonna add that different dynamic that, you know, they're gonna need an answer for. So what's the gunships are getting in my flank damage bonuses, right? My Titans and all the other units, they're gonna be able to go in and really put in the hurt. Really put in the hurt. The objective, twofold, right? Kill the LRPC, because I don't know where it is, but it's got. I assumed it had to be somewhere around here, right? And then, you know, if I can, get into the eco center. Get into the eco center, find something very, very explosion worthy, like an Aphis or so, right? And let it go boom. I mean, this is beautiful. I think this is amazing. Like, I really, really believe, and I used to say this all the time, that having a great air player, like when you play player versus player, right, makes such a difference. So when you play like these PvE games, right, take that into account, right? If you throw in excellent air support with your ground units, my God, does it make a difference? Does it make a difference? Look how far we managed to get in. Look how far we managed to get in. And at the bottom here, oh, look at this. Big Sol Invictus. Big Sol Invictus coming in the southern section. Now, these Skynet loving barbarians, yeah, that have come here to take over this Greenland. Now they're gonna have to really think, because they've got a threat in the center and a little bit of a spam attack, but they've got big boy Sol Invictus wrecking house, destroying labs, right? And he's backed up by I have forgotten their name already, but backed up by those sort of LRPC type units as well, a bit like the Vanguard, but not quite. Damn, that's a crazy wreckage. Hopefully they don't res him. So I still got you know, I still got Titans coming in. And at this point, I can't recall if I had my... Ooh! Sheesh! Nice! Coming in through the flank. This is going to be beautiful, right? Looks like the com's gone down. Nice. Yeah, I think I might have set my my tier 3 gantry to just send my Titans. Beautiful kill. My Titans straight into their base. Damn, Sol Invictuses are super strong. Guys, you know what? What's your thoughts? I feel like a Sol Invictus, you get more value out of a Sol Invictus than you do a Juggernaut. Now that might trigger some of the big Cortex homies, right? But I feel like it just clears house so well. Juggernaut is still more scary because you hear that laser sound, right? And you're like, oh my God, this thing. And I do think the Juggernaut is still more stronger in terms of armor, right? Or tough. Maybe that's the word, tough. Yeah. But I don't know. I think value-wise, the Sol Invictus is it's there. Beautiful sounds. Beautiful sounds. I really like the design of the Sol Invictus as well. Really good. This is good play. He's coming in to kind of you know, again, clear out this this central pathway, right? And with my unit still looking to push forward as well, this is going to be really good. Really good. This is what you call flanking the enemy superbly. Like a Titan looks small compared to a Juggernaut, and the same can be said again when you compare it to the Legion's flagship unit, right? Okay, sweet. I've got my 4s coming in as well. Good thing about 4s, they cannot be EMP'd. Can a Sol Invictus be EMP'd? I don't know. Because the thing with the Jug, right? A Juggernaut is it cannot, you know, they're immune. They're immune to EMPs. Something to think about. Titans can be EMP'd. 4s, again, like the Jug, are immune, right? Now these fat boys are gonna do some work, but you know what? It's a matter of time. Why on earth is the Invictus going for the Dragon's Teeth? That comm is there. Nice, tier 2 lab goes out. Look at that plasma round. Super strong. Boom. Base gone. Or lab, I should say. And to be honest with you, bases are about to die. Those comms have resurrected, but I don't think it's going to be too long.
Commander
Oop,
has
gone.
died. Commander has died.
And that, I believe, was the last comm.
Battle ended.
Excellent. Excellent. Now, this was a really enjoyable game. This was the first game playing with Yolo. And yeah, you know, I've got another game that we played actually on the same day, right? So, you know, I'm gonna look to get that on the channel as well. And it's me, Yolo, and another two comrades, humans, right? And we play again against the machines, right? In a different setting to this. And that was a really good game. That was a really good game. So yeah, I really enjoyed this. You know, both Yolo and I put in the work, the effort alongside our machine companions, and we got the win. All right. Nice one, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Please do consider dropping a like, dropping a sub. It really helps the channel. And yeah, I shall catch you in the next one. Peace.